Hi there, we're going to talk about how to access your SLP in order to complete your monthly progress report. First, you're going to go ahead and log into Seesaw. You will come into your classroom and find your SLP. It can be at the bottom of your journal. If you scroll all the way down, your teacher will have it living there, or they may have moved it into folders for you and organized it that way. Find this SLP and click into it, and you will see that your teacher has provided you a space under the current month that you're reporting on. Right under that timeline, you will find this box, and this is where you're going to input your information. Some tips here are that you want to double click into a cell in order to edit it. If you simply click into it, you will end up deleting everything that's in that box. Should that happen to you, click outside the cell, go up here to these arrows and go back. It will return to what was there before you started typing. If it happens that you cannot get these numbers back for whatever reason, you can either proceed without the numbers or you can just put the numbers back in yourself. Either way, the teacher will understand. As long as you have this information, these questions that you're answering, as long as you have that information in your cell, it will be fine. Let's go ahead and do social studies here and answer these questions, show you some examples. Right here, the first question that I am answering is, what was the last lesson completed? Here, if I have completed all the lessons and I'm running on time, I would put the chapter 5, the first Sumerian dictator was the last chapter that we completed. Any additions or deletions? Perhaps we did nothing extra. We also didn't get rid of anything. I don't need to put anything there for number 2, describing any additions or deletions. If you did an extra activity, you went to the library and you checked out 5 books on Sumeria and you spent time reading them, then you can add that here and let your teacher know. Also, if you did something extra up in any of these, it doesn't have to be the last chapter, but anywhere in here, if there's anything, maybe you went to a museum or something like that, you can share that in this space. For number 3, concepts worked on more this month. Perhaps you really spent some time comparing types of ancient government. And that was a big concept that you really worked on. Perhaps you spent some extra time also learning about what makes a civilization. Sorry, I have to sound it out while I'm typing with you. And those were some of the big ideas you worked on. Here again, instead of hitting enter, which is going to just take me to the next cell, make sure that when you're done typing, you are either using your arrow, or your cursor, your mouse to move your cursor down in the next line, or you use your arrow button will get you there as well. For number 4, for the assessments, we want you to go over here to these assessment options. There are several listed here, obviously, and we only need you to choose 1 to 3 in order to share with us what you did. First, particularly with social studies, there may be the fact that you had oral discussions in which you were able to easily see that your student knew what you wanted them to know, or you found that there were areas you needed to go back to. And you could also, so you could say you did oral discussions and completion of assigned work. Okay, you only need to choose 1 to 3. Choose the best that you feel represent what you did to assess your student and leave them here. That's all that we need from you. You may have a lot more information. I'm keeping this video short. You may have a lot more that you want to share with your teacher, and they would love that.
All right, I'm updating this video, so I'm jumping to an SLP that doesn't quite have the same subjects, doesn't quite have the same comments made, but you will still get the idea because we have updated our MPR process. So you can imagine we're just where we left off. We've input some comments. You would continue to input for each subject. And when you're done, you would just leave this page and you would be done with the parent portion of the MPR. The next step in this process is that the teacher will come to your comments, read them. They will think back to everything that they have seen from the student through Seesaw, through Zoom teacher comments, and anything else they've gathered throughout the month that your student has been working on, learning, doing, field trips they've participated in, all of the wonderful things they're doing for the month. They will come to the MPR tab and they will start to enter their comments. something encouraging, exciting, letting the student know that they're excited about what they've been learning, and mentioning key specific details. So using this updated SLP in the comments that I just created, it would be something like, "Hi Micah, you're doing an amazing job this month. It's been so great to see all that you've been learning and doing. I love that you've been active on the trampoline, talking about emotional regulation through physical activity. You also attended your lesson at Ninja Nation. That is great." Okay, and they'd continue to go on and comment on each subject area. They will then sign it, provide the date, mark satisfactory, and that will be the teacher portion. You may notice that months start to get hidden as we get over here, and we want to make this a little more user-friendly. We'll start to hide columns so that you don't have to continue to scroll months and months down the page. If you ever want to look back and see comments from the months before, you will be able to do that using these little arrows that will appear. And then you can always go back and look at what your comments have been. When a student, or excuse me, when the teacher is done, they will direct the student to come to something that looks like this. It will be a graphic. It will say monthly reports, and it will have your student's name along with a link symbol. When you click on this link, it will take you to your student's MPR. So you'll land right there. So while you could navigate it by going to the SLP and then the MPR, your teacher will always drop it in the student's Seesaw when the week comes up, and that's going to be the reflection week. We're asking you to look at the comments that we made on your MPR, and then we're going to give you directions as to what to do to fulfill contact for that week's reflection week. Okay, so you'll just follow those directions, and we'll note that your response to these reflection questions indicates that student and parent have read the monthly report comments. All right, so that is what that will look like when you have a reflection week, and that's how we use the information that you input on your student's SLP. We create the MPR, and then you come and participate in reading those comments and the reflection week. And that is from start to finish what the MPR process looks like that results in a reflection week.